I'm Shanti. These are some thoughts on the Murli of the 11th of February, 2022. Today Baba is taking up a few bits and pieces of different concepts. And first of all, this concept of creation, because it can be a little bit confusing to think about creation within an eternal cycle. On one side we say that nothing is created, nothing is destroyed, everything is eternal, soul is eternal, supreme soul is eternal, nature is eternal, and this is a cycle. And then on the other side, this word creator is so popular in Bhakti that Baba does also use it in the Murli, but he's explaining that it's like a recreation of a family. And yesterday's topic was on this hierarchy and how the drama has a whole series of hierarchies that occur. There have been so many thousands of hierarchies, and those hierarchies then change right across the world. Well, what you will see is different structures, different hierarchies. And so Baba is saying that that original hierarchy of the Golden Age and this hierarchy of the Confluence Age with Brahma and Shiva and Jagadamba, this is what he's recreating. He's restoring the souls who are at the top of the hierarchy and putting them back to their original status. And we forgot all about Shiv Baba anyway, so who was right at the top has been forgotten. And so that's also another theme in today's Murli. It's been a theme of this whole week, where Baba has been talking about Shiva, and then Vishnu, and then the religious fathers, and then nature, and how we tangle everything up and we attribute Shiv Baba's qualities into all the others. And so again, Baba is talking today about how Shiva is actually the one who liberates everyone, the one who is the bestower. He is really the one who has the power to do everything. And he then combines with Brahma in order to give to souls. And so it's this understanding that Brahma is this gate. So I was mentioning about canal gates. We call them locks in the UK. So it's the canal gates that let in the water so the boat can go through. So Brahma for us is like this canal gate. And until he accesses Shiv Baba, the rest of us can't receive anything. We can't know anything. And so it's this understanding. Shiva riding the bull is memorialized in Bhakti, and Baba's referring to a particular picture today where Shiva is shown sitting in the forehead of the bull. So that's even more accurate in a sense. But of course, the knowledge of the souls as points of light, that's lost. And Shiva as a point of light, that's lost. And it would probably be the picture of Shankar. So in this way, Baba explaining that it's Shiva, and then you've got Brahma, and then in this world, you've got Vishnu, Lakshmi and Narayan, and they are the highest, they are the top of the tree. And so Baba is restoring that order, so it's like a recreation. In some Murlis, Baba says better to use the word transformer rather than creator, because it's not really creating souls or creating nature. And then the second principle, so yesterday Baba was talking to us about how hierarchies are part of the drama. And then the second, a second principle that is part of the drama is symmetry. So Baba says that the cycle is symmetrical. And this was like very early days of Brahma Baba beginning to discover Shiv Baba's knowledge. So probably Shiv Baba had incarnated in him. Baba was saying the other day that he's not sure of the date and the time. Shiv Baba came secretly, really, and in an incognito way. But Brahma Baba's thoughts began to change. And one of the things that he was doing, Daddy Brijendra and I think it might have been Daddy Nirmal Shanta, who were Brahma Babas in the previous life, the Lokik life, Brahma Baba's daughter-in-law and daughter. They used to share how Baba was drawing these circles with the swastika. And when he was sort of on a retreat at his friend's house in Benares, he was just drawing these things. It was as if someone was moving his hand and drawing on the wall. So Baba mentions this in one Murli, and it was just like his hand was moving with a piece of chalk on the wall, and he was drawing a circle and then a swastika in the middle of the circle. And he's just looking at this, and when you look at it, it's the picture of the cycle, that this is time. And when you see it in that way, the swastika is showing the symmetry of the cycle. Now, unfortunately, in the West, the swastika has taken an evil meaning because it's associated with Nazism. But if you notice, they sort of made the swastika black and twisted it around. So I think that's the occult symbol, that they were involved in some sort of Hindu occult thing. But the traditional swastika is a very nice symbol, which is usually in red, and it's sort of straight, and they have a red dot in each of the segments. And so Baba explains that it's like the soul going around the cycle in each of the ages. And if you look, all the ages are equal. So symmetry is part of this drama. In Hinduism, the popular narratives around they also show this cycle of the 4 ages, but the popular narrative is that the ages are not equal. So the golden age is something like 250,000 years or something, and that the silver age is like half of that, and then the copper age is half of the silver age, and then the iron age is half of the copper age. So that's one of the more popular narratives, and this is what Baba is challenging. He's saying that all the 4 ages, the great ages, these are equal. And then another thing that Baba's referring to today is there was a slogan that was going around the British Empire since the 1930s, 40s, which is an apple a day keeps the doctor away. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. So because it had become popular, it was even in my childhood in the 1980s, the people in England used to say this. And it's a reference to vitamin C. So an apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's the idea. And so Baba is referring to that type of apple, that we as souls we are unwell. And Shiv Baba's Murli and Shiv Baba's remembrance are our medicine. And gradually we become well again as all these vices are removed. And then the next thing Baba's explaining to us, oh yes, and in terms of what is health, I suppose today's blessing tells us what's health, which is contentment. Because really, you can have everything, can't you, on the outside, but if inside your heart doesn't have that deep level of satisfaction, you're bothered in some way inside, then it's as if you're poor, isn't it? Even if externally you have everything. So it's really contentment that's a sign of health of the soul. And then another principle in the drama that Baba is explaining today is that everything must go through the stages of Sato, Rajo and Tamo. And interestingly, Baba is saying even the vices go through that stage. So in the Copper Age, when we begin using vices, initially they work for us, so that's why we use them. And they're in their Sato stage, and so the soul doesn't experience sorrow through them. But of course they're addictive, and once they're part of our personality, we just keep on using them. And then after a while, they don't work for us as well, so they're in their Raja stage. And then at the end of the Iron Age, we can see that those vices rule over us and bring us sorrow. So if a new soul from the soul world comes now, they'll begin using the vices, but those vices will be in the Sato stage for them. So that new soul, you'll see famous people around the world, they're using the vices, but they're gaining success. But those vices will also then move through their stages for that soul as well. The Brahmin soul uses the vices for the longest period of time, so those stages, Sato, Rajo, Tamo, they take more time to pass through. But that's a principle, so everything goes through those stages. And then finally, right at the end of the Murli, there's a little section from one of Mama's classes, and she's focusing everyone to the future. And she's reminding us that Confluence Age is about accumulating for yourself. So it's never a comparison with anyone else. I, the soul, must accumulate an income. And so the more that, it's in today's slogan as well, the more that I'm surrendering my mind to Shubhaba, the more that I'm accumulating for my future. And in today's Murli as well, Baba's reminding us of another principle of the drama, which is that your final thoughts lead you to your next destination. I was talking with a Buddhist friend. So this slogan is from the Hindu scripture, the Gita. Your final thoughts lead you to your destination. And I was talking with a Buddhist friend, and he was telling me that the Buddha talked a lot about this as well, that what's vital is your final thoughts. And I think the Buddhists, they focus on emptying their mind, so they want to try and think nothing in their final thought. But what Shiv Baba tells us is that we should be remembering him in our final thoughts. So this process of accumulation, this process of surrender, it refers to making the mind manmanabhav, making the mind connected with Shiv Baba. So if we practice that while performing actions, then in our final thoughts, those actions, those relationships, they're less likely to pull us. If our thoughts are pulled in our final moments, then we carry on taking rebirth according to karmic accounts. But if our final thoughts are just with Shiv Baba, then we can become an angel. Om Shanti.